Okay, everyone, I'm so excited today because I am joined by Domhnall Gleeson, who stars in Fountain of Youth. How you doing today, man?
I'm really good. How are you?
Really good. I love this film. I'm so pumped to talk to you. And I'm wondering for this character of Owen Carver you play, with the prep for that, how long is the thought process for you if you're going to drop this with a beard or no beard?
If I'm gonna play him with a beard or no beard,
Yeah.
I would have thought pretty. Man, that is a hilarious question. I think we made the no beard decision pretty early on, and decided to go with a little bit of a kink in the hair, a bit the hair a bit curlier, and I think we liked the fact that he was a bit sort of baby faced in it. I think that was the idea. So yeah, that was the way we went on that.
No, yeah, I find it so interesting because I feel like those are such important decisions, and I think people forget about that. And I know you can rock like an amazing beard, so I was like, yeah, I wonder like how he thought about that.
From you,
Um,
great compliment. Thank you very much.
no
Fairly
problem.
out
And then
there.
with this character too, when you were studying billionaires, was there anything you maybe found in common about them that you could lean on?
It was interesting. Yeah, um, it was interesting. I definitely like read up on a load and watched a load of interviews. In the end, decided to go my own way and not like look at any one person or two people. But I think it can be the same as in politics almost. Like if you get to the top, you've probably had to make some pretty like ruthless decisions to get all the way to the top in any industry. And those people, they tend to be men, have gotten to the top like by hook or by crook. And so there is like they can be great fun or they can be great company and all the rest of it, but there's like an iron will in there somewhere. And I think the mix of those two things was sort of important for Owen Carver. And you kind of present the fun up front, and then you find out that actually he has a way of getting what he wants, which I think is probably a common theme. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So you're saying because you're at the top of your career in acting that you've done some ruthless things to get
That's very good. I see what you've done there, and I have no
there.
comeback whatsoever. Yes, yeah, yeah. I wouldn't say I'm quite at the top, but yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I've heard some people, sure.
No, I love that. And it's great too seeing you acting alongside John Krasinski, Natalie Portman, and these group scenes that are really good in the film. I'm wondering when you're doing group scenes, do you find those somewhat easier or can they be more challenging?
Yeah, interesting. I think in a film like this, they were slightly more challenging because they would change a lot of the script stuff sort of last minute. And so at that point, there's obviously a certain amount of exposition to get across, but also the rhythm of it is super important, especially in like a Guy Ritchie film. And so in a way, you're tied to rhythms. And if you're only coming in every few bars, you know what I mean? Like it's trickier in the group scenes where when I did a scene with Benji where it's just the two of us at a dinner table in a restaurant. And when it was just the two of us, it was much more you had more ability to be like free
Mm.
and knock things back and forth because there's only the two of you playing. In the group scenes, it's like knowing when to chip in is a really important part of the process. And for the most part, it's like John and Natalie or Asa leading those scenes. So it was actually
Yeah.
it was more tricky the group scenes, I would say, but still really good fun because you're seeing them do their thing. But being a part of it was a little trickier, yeah.
That's interesting too. And you mentioned Benji because I was going to ask you, you have those great scenes and Benji being, correct me if I'm wrong, the child actor in the
Yeah.
film. So does that bring a different dynamic to the set on a day like that when you're just one-on-one with a child actor?
Yeah, well, it does. I mean, like, he hasn't done like a million jobs, so it's like it's nice to you have a responsibility. I think you have a responsibility always to make work a nice place to go to, but particularly when there's a child on set, they deserve to be comfortable and they are owed a good experience. So that's part of it. And he's a lovely kid, so that was easy. But he's also a really good actor. He's fantastic in the film. He remembered lines at a rate that I found terrifying. When they give us new lines, he was off book immediately, and I didn't like that at all because that just makes but it was brilliant doing the scene with him, and I really enjoyed it because we had Guy right here. Guy was like sat beside the camera, talking us through it, and that was one of my favorite scenes to shoot in the film was with Benji. He did a brilliant job.
No, for sure. And it's definitely one of the best scenes in the film. And I'm wondering, with you having done so many films in your career already, was there anything like, do you try to switch things up in your acting process or anything you do differently, or do you kind of stick to like, oh, this is what I do and I'm going to keep rolling with it because it works?
I think you kind of I think it's I think sort of it's whatever the character needs and whatever the film needs, and you need to find like the place in between the two of those things where you also get what you need from the process. So actually, so it does change every time. Like, some jobs, your job is to get the lines into your head super early, not put anything on them, and do all the character work and then let those two things mesh when you're on the set. But like, it's like a lot of like investigating the lines and understanding them. On a job like this, because we were changing up so often, it's really important to free yourself and allow yourself to be part of the process and be light on your feet and to enjoy that. And so, yeah, I think I've probably changed it up as things go on. Certain things remain the same, but yeah, changed it up as much as I can.
That's a great answer and a lot of good advice for any actors listening too. And I'm understanding as well because we get to see Owen, kick a little butt physically in this film. Is that all you, or did you have like a stuntman that looked like you standing next to you?
We had a great stunt man, an amazing stunt team, like an incredible stunt team who looked after me really well. And like, despite the fact that it takes about 15 seconds in the movie, there's like a load of work that goes into all that stuff, and they couldn't have made me more comfortable. And it was fun because I got to train in the lead up to it, and that was actually I really loved that, and it was great crack. And I'm not Bruce Lee, but they made me feel like I had something to offer in that regard, and I was very thankful to them. Super nice team. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that scene is really cool too. I can't wait for people to see that. It caught me by surprise. I loved it. And there's a lot of exterior scenes in this movie which look very hot. So, do you do you have like a sunscreen strategy? Like, are you reapplying every 2 hours?
What are you implying? Are you
Like,
implying that pale white men with red hair burn up in the sun? Because if
look,
that's
man,
what you're
I got
implying,
to do it too.
yeah, yeah, oh, man. Like, and also, like, Owen wears, like he'd be wearing some cashmere sweater. I'd be like, are you kidding me? Not to, there were multiple fans on me at all times that cameras weren't rolling. Yes, and there was a huge amount of sunblock, and then also an umbrella strategy.
Ooh,
Yeah, blocking
that's the underrated
blocking
one.
the rays before they even get to me. That was yeah, that was part of the strategy.
No, I love that. And it's great because I love seeing like all these exterior shots and how all these different locations we see Owen in. It just seems like it was like something that felt the joy you guys probably were feeling in this film. And I'm wondering too, would you take that risk then to drink from the fountain of youth if you yourself?
No, I mean, like the serious answer is no, because like the problem is if you're the only one drinking, everyone around you uh, continues to age, and I think you'd have to be an incredibly lonely person to sort of, you know what I mean, like to be okay with that. I think everyone getting old at the same rate is one of the. It's sad, but it's fun as well. So no, I would leave it to somebody else.
No, that's a great, smart answer, and I'm excited people see how like everything unravels in this film because it's really great ending. And my last question for you is: your B day was last Monday, so happy belated. And it's awesome that this office has been off the paper. There's this picture of you front and center, so you're no stranger to being part of huge projects like Star Wars. So, what is your mindset to handle all the hype around a project like this?
That's an interesting one. I think people like you can't convince people to take each project on its own merits. But the American office, when it came out, faced a lot of like kind of raised eyebrows because the English office had been such a hit. We can't do what the American office did. We have to do something different with our group of people. And I think we did that. And so you just have to think about whether you're happy with the work itself, because you can't decide how you
Mm.
feel about it. And when I look at the work itself, I think the show just gets better and better as it goes along. I think it's really strong. It's different, but I think it's really, really strong. I'm really proud of it. And so I hope people enjoy it, but I've no control over that. So I just have to ask myself if I'm happy with it, and I am. So
Oh,
moment.
that's a great answer. It makes me really excited. So, don't know you're killing it, and you kill it here in Fountain of Youth on Apple TV Plus this Friday. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to talk again in the future one day.
Really look forward to it. Thank you so much.